Thanks, Richard. I want to acknowledge the traditional owners of this country and thank you for that reminder. And it's a reminder to every one of us that at no stage have the first peoples of this country ever ceded sovereignty. And until we right that wrong, we are always going to be diminished as a nation. And if you want to know where the burden is going to fall, ask yourself, how many of Australia's first people who are currently already living so far below the poverty line are going to be able to afford an extra $7 to be able to go to the doctor and then an extra fee to get a test and then an extra fee to get their prescriptions? If you want to know where this burden of this brutal budget from Tony Abbott is going to fall, it will be on the young, the sick, the poor and on Australia's first peoples. And as I look out at the thousands here, I can see many people who were fearing from day one that this is exactly what Tony Abbott would do if he ever got his hands on the reins of power. But I can also see people here who believed Tony Abbott when he said that there would be no cuts to education, health or the pensions. And wherever you come from though, one thing is now clear. Whoever you voted for last time, no one voted for this budget. Tony Abbott has sucker punched the Australian people. He lied his way to power and then delivered a budget for the 1% in this country. We could balance this budget by asking the big miners, the big polluters and the big banks to pay a bit more, but instead Tony Abbott has savagely rounded on the rest of us. It takes guts and courage to stand up to the powerful and the wealthy, but a coward takes the axe to the young, the sick and the poor. Tony Abbott is a clear and present danger to the Australian way of life. We don't have a budget emergency, we have a government emergency. Having now had the benefits themselves of a free education funded by the taxpayer, Tony Abbott and his associates are now pulling up the ladder behind them and making life brutal for everyone else who comes after them. This government will be devastating for Gen Y and everyone who comes after them. As if it wasn't tough enough facing record youth unemployment, you'll now graduate with a debt the size of a small mortgage from TAFE or university, and then when you're looking for a job, the government will take away your income while you're looking. And I tell you what, the landlord doesn't care that the government has changed the rules and that you now have no dole. They just want the rent to be paid on time. This budget is a poisonous recipe for homelessness for Australia's young people, and that's not the kind of country I want. And heaven forbid that you're a single parent in this country who is already working a double and triple shift, raising the kids on virtually no income, as if they couldn't be hit anymore after the last governments. Now Tony Abbott is going to take the stick to them as well. Well, I don't want to be in a country where we spend $2 billion every year just so the likes of Gina Rinehart and her associates can buy cheap diesel while the kids of single parents live in poverty. Tony Abbott has no mandate to create an underclass in this country. And when it comes to the attacks in this budget on the young, the sick and the poor, the Greens will block this budget. If Labor and the Palmer Party join with us in an alliance for a new election, we can have Tony Abbott out of office by Christmas. The Greens relish the chance to make Tony Abbott go to an election with his plan to make people pay more to go to the doctor, to force our young people to go without any income at all, and to dismantle Medicare. Because I tell you what, if you say to the Australian people, what do you think is better? Asking Gina Reinhart and the big banks and the big polluters to pay a bit more, or taking the axe to the young and the sick and the poor? I know which way this country will vote. And what we are seeing here today, with the tens of thousands of you here and right around the country, we are seeing the beginning of people beginning to reclaim what is good about Australia. You aren't standing up for the private privilege of the 1%, you are defending the Commonwealth of Australia. After spending this week in his coward's castle, where knights and dames aren't a distraction but a real sign of the divided feudal society he wants to create for us, it is great to be back here in Melbourne, where we want a country that's built on sustainability, compassion and equality. And looking at you all, I know that you want an Australia where you don't have to work until you drop and then be forced to live out the rest of your life in poverty, but where you want people who have contributed all their lives to be able to have dignity. And looking at you, I know that you don't want an Australia where we say to our young people, you can go and live on the street, but where we say, let's lift you out of poverty. And looking at you, I know that you want an Australia that is not like America, where if you don't have the money, you don't get the health care. You want an Australia where to get into a doctor, you only need your Medicare card, not a credit card. You are the people who embody everything that is good about this country, that spirit of care that says we will look after each other and we do not want a dog-eat-dog society. And what you are doing here today is something very, very important that could change the course of history and protect everything that we think is important about this country. The Greens will continue to be your voice in Parliament, but I want you to keep coming out, because I reckon there's every chance we'll have a new Prime Minister by Christmas. Thank you.